Gareth Hughes.
To the Chairperson of the Local Government and Environment Committee, when will the committee report on the Marine Reserves Bill?
Mr. Speaker, the current reporting date for the Maritime Reserves Bill is the 30th of December 2010.
Gareth Hughes.
To the Chairperson, will the committee call for further submissions given the 7-year delay in last submissions?
Chris Ockenfold.
Mr. Speaker, at risk of sounding like a parrot, the member will be aware that further information on the committee's consideration of this item of business remains confidential until the committee makes its final report to the House.
Order. Point of order, Materia Ture.
I understand the need to have a defensive answer, but that was not an answer. It did not address the issue. A more reasonable answer could...
Order. I apologise, member, the point of order is being heard.
An answer that does address the question could be made. That certainly was not one.
It is a very difficult area, this area of what is confidential to the committee. I mean, if the committee has made a decision with respect to hearing further submissions, it may well be that that is a matter that's confidential to the committee. But what would not be breaching confidentiality, in my view, would be indicating whether or not the further submissions have been called for, because the chair of the committee does have a role in calling for submissions, and I think it's reasonable that the chair of the committee answer with questions with respect to calling for submissions. But I don't want to be unduly unfair on the member, because he's quite right, decisions of the committee are confidential. But chairs do have a particular role with respect to calling submissions. It may be possible to indicate whether or not the intention is to call for further submissions or not. Chris Ockenfold.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you again for your guidance in answering this particular question. Mr. Speaker, the committee will determine whether or not it calls for future submissions at such time as it makes that consideration.
And that brings to a close questions for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.